All 8 of Carl Jung's cognitive functions are real. So what I mean by real is that they're all valid and actual, like, ways of processing things. And that might seem really vague and obvious. But what I notice from pretty much every personality type is that, for example, FE and TI will look at a TE claim and they'll be like, you're glossing over things, you're just making an assumption. And TE and will look at FE and be like, you're making generalizations about people. Like what I am right now, I'm making generalizations about what people do. But what we have to realize is that FE and TE are both ways of... FE is a valid shortcut for many reasons, in many ways, and TE is a valid shortcut, and FI is a valid process, and TI is a valid process, and it really depends on, you know, what functions you use and everything to see where your limiting beliefs are in regards to the validity of these functions. But I notice sometimes that I feel like ENTJs will like, ENTJs or ESTJs might like respect me and like me, but then like regard me as though the things I'm saying are wrong, because they just don't trust the way that FE makes statements. They don't trust that there is an emotional shortcut that you could make externally. That's what FE is. Objective emotion or objective feeling. I don't really know. Like, someone asked me once in a video what the difference is between emotion and feeling, and I'm not really sure. I sometimes use them interchangeably, although if I really thought about it, they probably were different. So I'd have to think about that. But that's what FE is an objective way of judging the emotional situation. And whenever you are using objective judging, it's going to feel like a shortcut. TE is the same way. Like, I get annoyed when I feel like TE is just making like logical jumps from A to B without telling me how they went all the way from A to B. What were the mini steps in between? What are the principles holding that up? What are the pillars? All of that. So, that's one thing. And, so yeah, I might distrust TE or think that, oh, you're assuming, you're making a generalization. I'm not trying to say that everything that FE comes up with is real, is true or accurate, because people are wrong all the time. And I think it's only when we consider all of the functions, and this doesn't mean that you, one person, has to consider all the functions, but you can consider them by asking other people who are different from you. How do you think communities are built? We need people of all different kinds. Organizations and businesses work better whenever there are people with different types working with each other. Like, what was it I said the other day to my friend? I was like, I said, it takes a village, it takes all cognitive functions. Okay, that's not that funny. I can't remember how I said that. Whatever. Disregard the fact I said that. But yeah, it takes a village. Okay? It takes every cognitive function, pretty much, to make the world go round. And TE is just as true as FE. TI is just as true as FI. These things are all accurate. The things that we prefer are the things that we prefer using, the things that come naturally to our brain. Those are our skills and our gifts that we can offer the world. The things that don't come naturally, you either can, through self-growth, tapping into your shadow side, try and access it and make those a little bit stronger and not that weak, not like completely blind to your weaknesses. But really, you should ask people for help, because we can't do anything alone. And I guess really that's the video. I'm trying to think about examples, but I can't really think of any. And I feel like this concept really does speak for itself. Like, if you a lot of P's might regard both FE and TE as sweeping generalizations or declarative statements, stuff like that. And I feel like it's internally, we don't trust the statements that are made from these things because we don't understand them. Like, for example, when like I see like a scientific study found, like, by using one sample, something that my TI disagrees with, I'm not going to accept it because I'm going to think, oh, well, that doesn't match up with everything that I've seen my entire life. That's just one sample, and they could have had hidden FI motives and cherry-picked it, and that's why the TE looks the way it does. The reason why TI and FE distrusts TE declarative statements is because we assume that there is some sort of FI bias getting in the way. The reason why TE and FI doesn't trust FE sweeping generalizations is because TE and FI doesn't trust that you actually did your homework and looked at all of the facts that were going on and researched it and actually were lining up your thinking and your logic with the real world, and that you aren't just being some sort of conspiracy theorist thinking whatever you want. And, you know, the same could be said with the perceiving functions. SE might say that NE is not real because it is regarding the unknown, the what if, the possibilities, and it focuses on possibilities, and SE does not focus on those in the same way. They're trying to live their life and enjoy it, and soak it up. Some may call this opportunism, which, by the way, I really don't understand what's the big deal with being an opportunist so long as you are treating others with respect. The only reason why NE doesn't like that SE is being an opportunist is because they might think that SE is not, doesn't have like a strong NI vision and is just gonna stomp on everyone. They are worried that opportunism, they equate that with being mean or something. I don't know. I don't know why NE doesn't like SE opportunism. Let me know. Tell me in the comments what cognitive function, when you see it, you want to like point out it's biased. Like, I feel like, okay, a lot of people do this with FI, where someone's using FI and it's like, no, that's just how you feel. That's not how it is. That's just how you feel. It's almost like they're invalidating and not trusting how they feel as a real thing. FI is not a real thing that should be used for, you know, TI purposes of like trying to figure out, the truth in the world. But FI is that person's truth. It is their core, what they want to feel and how they want to live and who they want to be. And if something doesn't align with that FI truth, then they can get their ass out of that situation, out of that relationship, because it won't align with what they want. And that is real. That is true. That is just as true and valid as any sort of TI thing. So anyway, what do you guys think about this? Do you think that all of the 8 cognitive functions are real? Let me know, and join my Facebook group, Personality Typology for Self-Growth, if you'd like to have more conversations like this. And if you'd like to work with me one-on-one using this sort of a framework and really talk about what cognitive functions do you have a bias about, like what sort of limiting beliefs do you have when you're processing and trying to process other people and get along with other people in your daily life, I do have one-on-one consulting options below. So thank you for watching.